Welcome back!
Welcome.
My goodness, that was...
Horrifying. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Erica Besco.
I had mostly forgotten about the introduction to this episode, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. It's coming back. It's coming back to haunt you.
It's coming back.
Yeah, Erica's back. She's put a ring onto Battler's finger. A tight ring. That it would be painful to stick it onto that finger because...
And then, as far as we can tell, the only way that Battler can be saved is by someone going out of the cousin room or the other room?
The next room over. The cousin's room is fully sealed.
Yeah, so...
the only...
the next room over was the one that Eric was in originally, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The window technically is not sealed, but Lanor said you cannot reason using that open window.
So,
which is interesting.
The obvious pick then, I guess, is Shannon being the one to jump out, come and save Battler.
We'll see what happens then, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still kind of... All of the questions you asked me in the last video, I was like... I feel like I kind of have a solution that's just, gonna work.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the fact that you keep poking me with questions makes me like, I'm
just trying to...
Can I be sure about this?
I don't know. I'm just here to make you think.
That's all. I mean, like, that's your role, right? Like, if I come up with the correct answer and tell it to you, you're not gonna just tell me what it is.
Of course.
And, even if you keep asking questions that are just gonna lead me straight to the answer that I already have anyway, then, whatever. But I feel like I'm pretty well onto it at the moment. I'm gonna keep trying to come up with something else, but it's looking like they're literally shoehorning us into one option right now.
We'll see.
Because, like, as we kind of pointed out a bit in the last bit, we're getting, what seems to be kind of answers to a few things.
Yep.
So, pushing us to a solution where there is only one obvious conclusion is going to be, like, the way that we're going to get the closest to the answer I think we're going to get, probably.
Interesting that seems to be happening in episode 6.
Yeah.
Not in episode 8. But yeah, we'll see how we go.
I mean, the easy pick for me there is that if we find out the truth of the tales in episode 1 to 6, then we still have 7 and 8 to figure out the truth of the, like, reality. Because I don't think we've really got any of that yet. Like, we have a whole bunch of, like, recurring events that we can pick from, but I think if we do resolve this kind of question in this episode, that's what the next 2 episodes are going to have to be about.
Right. We'll see.
We will see.
A dreary breeze blew through the Golden Rose Garden. Shannon and Cannon had already finished walking 19 steps, their backs still facing each other. When the demons conducting the trial gave the signal, they would both turn and settle this. Each had one of the dueling pistols given by the demons in their hands. The bullets promised certain death no matter where on the body they hit. This duel would not end until one of them died. George and Jessica just quietly watched the ones they loved. They had already entrusted all of their thoughts to them, as well as their fates. Just watching over their partners was now the only way they could show their trust. Shannon and Cannon stood quietly, with their backs turned. They had already set aside the feelings they'd built up during all those days they'd known each other. The next time they laid eyes on the other, nothing would be asked of them except pulling that trigger. The only one who still couldn't muster any determination or resolve towards this duel was Beata. The closer that moment came, the less she understood. The love between George and Shannon wasn't standing in the way of the love between Jessica and Cannon or vice versa. Why, when both sides could find happiness, were they being forced to kill each other? I don't understand. I just can't understand. Little sister, we are not permitted to do anything but watch. Zephyr-san, Feather-san, why? Why this duel? This is no trial of love. You really are demons. You just want to enjoy watching one of the pairs fall apart, don't you?
Silence.
You'll get in the way of the lovers. You're the ones getting in the way of the lovers. One will fall. The one who loves that person will grieve. If only you two weren't around, no one would be sad. That is not true.
If we hadn't set up this duel,
then both pairs would have fallen apart. This duel is necessary. I haven't been able to accept that since the beginning. You say their love can't be successful without a miracle of magic. What does love need other than two people who love each other? This duel is meaningless. So stop it, you two. Shannon and Cannon both. Why must you fight each other to the death when you were once as close as true siblings? I just can't understand. Everyone should have been able to hear Berta's yell. However, no one's expression changed.
That's right. I'm impressed you noticed.
This is love's truth. What is?
Normally, love needs nothing more than two people who love each other.
Therefore, when there are two people, we must use a duel to make the number become two. I could understand if it were a duel between two people fighting over one woman. If it were a duel to cut three people in love down to two. But here, we have two pairs of people. The world formed by each pair is complete, isn't it? There's nothing compelling them to fight.
The minimum number of people that can create a world is two.
A world can only be born, love can only be fulfilled, when two people gather.
That's why this duel is necessary.
So that they can get up to that number of people. Are you saying that furniture is subhuman, so they don't count as a single person? Exactly! Furniture is subhuman. That's why furniture and a human cannot add up to two people. That's insane. Status has nothing to do with it, if both of them love each other. No, it does!
I'm sorry.
What are you doing?
I just had to point out that Zephyr and Furfur were like, oh, we thought it was gonna be George and Jessica. And now they're like, but this is the only way it could have happened.
This is the only way. No, they know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Of course they do. Want to try that again?
No, we can move on.
Oh. Making me sad.
Good. It's a sad scene.
It is.
You really think that the status of a pair of lovers doesn't matter?
Is a man who has a wife allowed to love someone else? Is a woman who has a husband allowed to love someone else?
Are you allowed to fall in love with your parents? Are you allowed to fall in love with your children? There are many situations where status makes love unallowable.
Then just what is furniture?
Shout out to Kinzo being the best dad.
Why mustn't furniture fall in love?
Because their soul is less than a single person. There was one quotation mark.
Yeah, I was confused.
At the end.
I know. That was rude. Half a point.
Well, that's no half point, because we did it.
It's fine.
You know what, I'm gonna take a point for that, because that was a typo for Yukichi.
Fair enough.
Shannon Cannon, of course, the piece that you are.
All of your furniture. Subhuman beings who possess less than a single person's soul.
To be qualified to love a human, you need to love only one thing. The possession of a single person's soul. That's why a pair in love can create a single world.
For example, do you think a man with a wife has the right to love another woman? Of course not. If he loved two women, neither would get a full person's worth of love. A man such as that would be unworthy of love. See? There are plenty of statuses in humans who have no right to love a person. As long as both people feel love, nothing else matters. That's just the hypocrisy of naive love.
We cannot forgive humans who falsely pretend that they have the right to love. We cannot forgive the love of subhuman beings of those who don't make up the minimum number of people required to create a world.
This is getting very wordy. That is the purpose of our trial. It is to let the sinful souls regain a complete soul and become capable of true love.
Oof, nearly fell apart.
No, that's fine. We nailed it. Nailed it at the end.
Nailed it at the end.
Are they gonna play alive again? I hope so.
Zephyr Summer, Furfur Summer.
Our hearts are ready. Fuck yeah, they are. Fuck yeah, they are. Please.
Shannon just keeps saying people's names. Please.
Give us the signal to start the duel. Oh my god. The pair bidding farewell quietly asked for the signal to be given.
You are fucking...
I'm so hype!
You're the trigger happy one today.
I'm so hype! Zephyr nodded silently, then walked to a place that could be seen by both of them. Further spoke in a voice quiet enough to avoid distracting the two duelists.
Slow down. You're talking fast.
Oh my god. Watch. Watch the duel to see which of the lovers will fall apart? No, this isn't a duel to see who falls apart. This is a duel to make true love succeed. I don't understand what you two are saying. No, you must understand. This marks the birth of a human who can truly love another. I don't understand. No matter which wins, please support them. Right now, their days as furniture will end. Oh my god.
The signal is simple. I will count to 3. When I reach 3, the duel will commence.
Understood.
Same here. If both miss, the duel will be temporarily suspended. You'll be given bullets again and we'll start over from the beginning with your backs to each other.
I
guess it'll repeat until it's all settled.
Zeppa, have you seen this sort of duel many times in the past?
Of course. I've seen many of them.
Usually, how many times do they need to face off before it's over?
In almost all cases, it's decided in the first round. They all must be really good shots.
That's not it. If one side misses, the other can corner them at their leisure and shoot. If the first bullet misses, then you've lost your chance of victory. However, if you take too long, you'll lose before you can even pull the trigger.
If you're going to lose anyway, you'd at least want to pull the trigger first. Your resolve is good, you two. Then let's go. They're really going ham on the slowed down music for episode 6.
It's so good.
Slow fades. Who's gonna win?
You gotta slow things down.
1,
Two.
2.
Must be Shannon and Cannon talking.
What?
Yes. 3.
Wait, sorry, what did you just say?
Don't worry. Don't worry. I was just thinking. Don't worry.
Okay.
We're good.
I'm sure it wasn't important at all.
It's fine.
It's fine.
In the Golden Rose Garden, when the number 3 was yelled, the sound of gunfire ran out once. Even the people watching couldn't tell whether that was a single gun firing or the sound of both going off at the same time. In the midst of the stench of gunpowder and white smoke, there, with gun raised and smoke trailing the barrel, was Cannon. And lying on the earth was Shannon. Shannon, son. No. Shannon fell before the gun fired. Jessica's distressed expression was enough to explain what had happened. Slowly, Shannon stood up. There was no bullet wound anywhere on her body. At the time of the signal, Shannon had thrown herself to the ground, dodging the bullet. It had been a bet. If Cannon had turned around and taken the time to aim carefully before shooting, then he would have shot her as she lay there. However, if Cannon shot as soon as he turned around, she would be able to dodge it. Cannon had also made a bet. He did not underestimate Shannon's skill with a firearm. He was fully aware that, if he assumed Shannon would be timid enough to let him shoot first, he would lose before even pulling the trigger. So he decided to shoot right away.
Shannon's skill with a firearm. I'm glad we were introduced to this concept in episode 6.
And he had predicted that when she shot, Shannon would reflexively pull the trigger too. Since he had intended to shoot right away, he would be more mentally prepared, so he was confident that he'd be able to shoot accurately. If Cannon had cautiously turned around, and Shannon had shot instantly with the strength of her will, then Cannon wouldn't even have been able to pull the trigger. So, no impatience on Cannon's part was to blame here. The two had simply given it their all, left their fates to the heavens, and reached this result. I didn't imagine that my quick-tempered Nay-san wouldn't shoot at all.
I'm surprised too, to think that old prudent Cannon would shoot as soon as he turned.
Literally, red and blue demons! Oh, it's so good. As Shannon quietly pointed the barrel at him, she slowly walked forward. She planned on cautiously closing the gap until she reached a distance from which she could hit with even more certain accuracy. And Cannon had already lost any means of fighting back. He could only try to dodge Shannon's bullet and place his bet on the second round. If they both thought this, then what happened next would turn that assumption on its head. This isn't over yet! Cannon dashed forward like a tornado, but over so low that he was almost crawling over his shadow. This duel could only be settled by a bullet, but he wasn't the only one who had a bullet. If he could steal Shannon's gun away from her, he could turn this fight around, and if Shannon calmly shot through Cannon, it would end. The odds that Shannon would miss, or that he could get close enough to her before she fired, Cannon would bet all the chips he had on them. Shannon could draw Cannon in until the last second, then shoot him from a closer distance. If she pulled the trigger just before he reached her, then even if she missed, they would just start again from the beginning. Shannon kept her gun pointing at Cannon's forehead as she compared these options until the final moment. She led her shot, calculating the distance he had already moved, and the time it would take to pull the trigger. The goddess of fortune smiles impartially. Ah!
No!
Surviving past the final moment Shannon could have shot, Cannon barreled into her chest. He then swung his hand up and knocked the gun Shannon held into the air. That strike sent Shannon's gun flying into the sky. At the same time, Cannon's gun also flew from his hand and danced through the air. The two guns danced a rondo through the sky, reached their peak, and began to fall. By that time, neither knew whose gun was which. The two guns were exactly the same. Everything about them was identical. There was no way to tell them apart. However, there was one difference. Only one of them had a bullet inside. The pair raised their hands to the sky, trying to grasp their fate, their miracle. It was as though they were trying to grasp the wings of a descending angel of miracles. The pair looked up at the brilliant sky and entrusted everything to the goddess of fortune. Then, they each grabbed one of the guns out of the air, and after dancing a momentary rondo, their arms crossed each other. Even that had been like a dance. Then, they each pressed the barrel of their gun up against the other's forehead, both as steady as a rock. Even they could not know which gun held the bullet. When they both pressed the triggers, one would die and one would remain alive. The match would end. George and Jessica wouldn't know the result until that moment came. However, was it really impossible for the two holding the guns to know? The muzzle of Cannon's gun, which had already been fired, must have been warm, and the muzzle of the other gun, which Shannon hadn't fired, should have been ice cold. So perhaps the pair of them did realize which gun was which. And yet, both expressions were solemn. The faces of those who would believe in their fate unswervingly until the moment the triggers were pulled.
Don't be sad. We'll meet again soon in the Golden Land.
We should have done this much sooner.
If only we had, our reunion could have been avoided entirely.
It's alright. Considering what day this is, even this duel was just a farce.
You're right. If we're just going to revive in the Golden Land anyway, it really is just a farce.
Then I'll see you later.
Yeah, you too.
So long.
Cannon-kun!
Here, what's going on? Hang in there! Suddenly, Cannon fell to the floor as if he'd had an attack of anemia. It had happened without any warning beforehand, so everyone rushed up to him in alarm. What they saw surprised them. There was a single strand of blood across his forehead, making it look as though it had cracked open. How?
What happened? What's going on?
Trying to get a look at the wound, Gerda wiped Cannon's forehead with a handkerchief. However, his forehead was perfectly smooth, without any trace of a wound. And yet, blood was pouring out, almost as though it was seeping through his skin.
What are you doing? Has it stopped the bleeding already?
But, even though there's no wound, the blood won't stop coming.
Hang in there, Cannon-kun. Cannon-kun. Yoshia-kun.
Cannon's forehead was pale, and though his eyes were open, they had lost the light of the living. Just like a puppet whose strings had been cut, he had passed away.
Too much for him.
It's so good.
It's too much for you. Yoshia-kun, Yoshia-kun.
So long, Cannon-kun. And thank you.
Jessica dashed up to Cannon's corpse, held it, pressed her forehead against his, and as the still hot blood was smeared over her forehead as well, she sobbed. Shannon.
George-san, we've won. Now I finally have the right to love you.
Shannon leaned against George's chest, as though the strings holding her up had been cut. George held her in silence.
Yoshia-kun, Yoshia-kun.
There was nothing in the golden rose garden except the wind that carried golden flower petals, and the sound of Jessica's grieving sobs. Is your trial for us finished now?
It is. Congratulations. You two are the ones who remained.
We will give you a blessing, but please don't forget, you are now responsible for nurturing your love.
Please take good care of the seed of love that this miracle has created.
Of course. I swear to her and you too. And now let Shannon have the miracle of magic.
Now your soul will become human. You will become a single person.
Gather in complete souls, become one and know love. When Zephyr and Furfa faced the heavens and yelled, the miracle of love gathered the souls around Shannon.
What's happening?
What could possibly happen at this point?
I don't know.
The souls are becoming one, my dude.
I don't know.
They came from the losers of the trial, from Cannon who had been defeated, and from Beato who had dropped out. Slowly, the bodies of the two began to break down into flecks of gold dust. What's going on here? No one ever said that the losers would disappear. As she yelled, Beato the Elder supported the body of her fading little sister. However, the two demons were smiling quietly.
Cannon has disappeared because he died. Beato was born to love Battler and is disappearing because she has lost the qualifications to do that.
It is quite fair. If you had survived, the other two would have vanished. Hang in there, little sister, hang in there. Want to go into Soul of Battler's closed room and save him? What are you doing getting finished off in a place like this? You call yourself a part of a complete form? Why was I born for the purpose of loving Battler-san? Why do I love Battler-san? The truth is, I don't know why I started to love him. What? Why are you saying this now? After all, when I was born, I was told to love Battler-san and be loved by him. That was my purpose. So, I don't really know why I love him. People don't need a reason to love each other. Don't disappear. If you disappear, who will save Battler? Little sister Beato! Beatrice! Why is it that I love Battler-san? Mother.
Yeah?
Well,
I'm not actually a big fan of the family-oriented girl. See how crude I am, right? I just can't handle acting politely in front of girls, ladies first and all that stuff. So if I had to say what type I liked, well, I'd probably like a Jessica-ish girl.
if you're ready for this shit.
If I'm crude, why shouldn't she be too? Probably be just perfect to have a rough, relaxed relationship where we could mess around without worrying about gender and be rude with no worries. So if I ever get a girlfriend, I hope it's someone I can joke around with all the time. Huh? What would she look like? I can't say I care much either way. Well, if she did happen to be a glamorous woman, blonde and bouncy with blue eyes like in Western films, that'd be awesome. I'd love to rub those boobs. Fuck you.
Battler.
Battler.
Oh! Wait, hold on. Oh, yes! Beatrice, listen. I am giving you my love for Shumia Battler. Become the kind of woman Battler wants. Take the golden hair he likes. Take the blue eyes he likes. Take this personality that matches his. And then, you must love him in my place. And then, if possible, you must be loved by him. I can no longer love him. Please, take my feelings that went unfulfilled, my feelings that I couldn't hold back, and make my wish come true. From this day forward, you are no longer the Rekenjima ghost that lives only to play pranks. From this day forward, you will become the master of this island, and wait for the day that he comes to fulfill his promise. From this day forward, you will do this in my place. So from this day forward, you will no longer be me. Please forgive me for pushing all of my worries onto you, while I alone try to find happiness. From this day forward, you have the right to hate everything. From this day forward, you are the Golden Witch, Beatoiche. And one day, you will destroy everything, revive everything. You will bring blessings to all lovers. When that happens, I pray that you and I will both succeed in finding happiness. From this day forward, You will no longer be me. From this day forward, I will no longer be you. The two of us will split apart a single soul and share it. And though, of course, neither of us will possess a complete soul, I'm sure our dreams will be more numerous than those of humans. Let us be blessed, my dear Beatrice. No one will be able to see your form. However, I alone can see you. And if you are loved by many people, I'm sure that everyone will be able to see you someday. With love, they'll be able to see us. Oh, fuck.
Too much for him. Yoshio-kun. Are we dreaming?
Insane. What kind of joke is this? Well, get Dr. Nanjo! Call Dr. Nanjo here! Goda. That is enough. Genji, who had been calm and silent throughout the whole thing, finally spoke. And his were the most reasonable words spoken. If they called Nanjo here, then what? Not only was there no arm to take the pulse of, there wasn't even a forehead to feel the heat of. Like leftover snow on a spring day, Keden's form had been. By now, not even a trace remained. His form had sparkled with a spray of gold, vanishing completely.
Where? Where did he go? Where's Yoshio-kun? Yoshio-kun, Yoshio-kun!
So long, milady. No, Jessica. Canon-san. By now, no one's eyes can see us. That means that we're no longer in their world. However, we are right here. You're right. We are here. For us, a body is nothing more than a cage made of flesh. There's no need to be sad. But I do feel sad for her. For Jessica-san. This is all my sin. This is why furniture isn't supposed to love. What will you do now? Though I have lost my form, though I can no longer talk to her, and even though, if Jessica ever talks to me, I can do nothing except nod behind her back, I will be by her side. I think that's wonderful. What will you do? I want to save Battler-san from a closed room. A closed room. After looking a bit taken aback, Kennen laughed gently. Beato, who unexpected to be laughed at, looked a little sour. Why are you laughing? This is very important to me. But it's a closed room. That's something for humans with bodies to worry about, right? Huh? Ah. We've already been released from our cage of flesh. How could a closed room hinder us? Are you sure about that? I mean, there's a chain lock and packing tape seals and red truth. I see. So, you aren't a being from the world of pieces, but a higher level world. That means your limitations are different from ours, or so I hear. Ah, well. Kennen stretched. It looked as though he was about to head out somewhere. Kennen-san, seeing as you're a fellow loser, okay, I'll go for you. I'll go to the guest room in the mansion, let Battler-sama out, set the chain behind me, and hide in the closet in his place. Is that enough? I'm glad for the sentiment. However, even if you wanted to leave the cousin room, because of Erika's seals... Unlike the next room over, the cousin room containing Cannon was a guaranteed complete closed room, even counting the windows. Not only did he have no way to save Battler, he couldn't even escape himself. In that case, use your magic to give me power. But my magic? Yeah, use your magic on me. Wait, I don't even know how. Aren't you Beatrice, the Golden Witch? I am a witch, but, I don't even know about closed room tricks, much less magic. Okay. Listen up, Beatrice. I'll only tell you this once. This is what a witch is. What a witch is? A witch is not the one who solves puzzles. Not the one who solves puzzles? Yeah, that's right. If you're a witch, why are you clutching your head because of someone else's puzzles? That's not a witch's job, right? Then, what is a witch's job? The Golden Witch I know would have used insane magic to create a puzzle that no one could understand, confusing everyone and sneering. Create a horrible riddle that no one can get, spin everyone around and badmouth them. You aren't supposed to clutch at your head worrying about your opponent's puzzles. That's your opponent's job. Worrying is my opponent's job. Don't worry about how Ashumi and Battler got out of the closed room. A chain-locked closed room? Ha, how trivial. You need to create a much more spectacular, ultimate closed room, and make it so that they're the ones worrying. I'll even lend a hand. I'm not the one who worries. That's for them to do. It's about time they learned the true terror of the Golden Witch, Beatrice. The one who can create endless closed room tricks of the most horrific kind. Tricks that can make even the demons of hell prostrate themselves in shock. A closed room even more horrific than Battler Sands. We've already gotten our hands on one, haven't we? A horrific closed room. In the back of Beata's mind, images she remembered began to flit by, one after another. The mansion, the guest house, the rose garden.
I actually didn't recognize a couple of those.
Trick, mistake, lure, taunt, trap, laugh together. Do you know about this trick? I think I've seen something like it in a book before. Beata's eyes opened wider and wider. Countless lights circled around her, swallowing her up. And one more thing. What? That's no way for the Witch of Closed Rooms to talk. So, after all, I must be... me. Heck, yes!
Here it comes, Max. You're having too much fun here. It's so fitting that like most of the dialogue here has been yours because this is just your jam.
This is my entire jam. The marriage ceremony ended without any problems, and the reception was held inside the cathedral. As the goat demons partied raucously, Delano could be seen leaning against a pillar trying to escape from the noise. Then, Gertrude appeared and whispered some kind of report to her.
Is that true? Allow me to speak. Aide Cornelia is currently heading towards the scene. I suggest that Lady Erica be contacted as well. Understood. I will tell her. Gertrude, contact the head of ceremony security. Prepare for battle. As you wish.
My hand is hovering. I apologize for interrupting your chat. I am in charge of security for the ceremony.
Huh? Is it me? Do you want something?
I told you were going too far. Champagne tower bowling was always a bad idea. Looks like it's time for a scolding.
That's so great.
Hey, Burn! Hey, what's going on? Did I do something wrong?
The reception desk has received an envelope from an unknown sender addressed to Lady Lambda Delta. Oh, fuck me.
I always ignore anonymous calls and letters. Just throw it away.
But please, look at this.
What's that? Did you tell anyone you received this?
No, only the two sisters at the reception desk and I know. They have already been ordered to keep silent. The instant she saw that envelope, Lambda Delta snatched it away and lowered her voice. When Castle had walked away, it was apparently making fun of Erica. Byrne and, of course, Erica were both drunk. If they were left alone, they'd probably forget about this. It's true that this envelope has no sender written on it. However, the seal done on it in gold leaf fulfills the same purpose. The seal is throwback to every game. Oh god. Lambda Delta hid behind a pillar, ripped the envelope open, took out its contents, and read them. Her eyes instantly started to glint, and she smiled like a kid who's just thought of a nasty trick. What is to be done? The sniper team is carrying red warheads. If you give your permission, I'll give the order to load them.
What are you talking about? Do you realize how important these guests are? If stray bullet hits one of these attendants, all the new Chester sisters will be strung straight from the factory to the guillotine for the next 10 years.
Understood. We'll intercept with regular warheads. Shall we post watches around the Seven Sisters of Purgatory?
Why would we need those? After all, the Seven Stakes are battlers, now Erica's furniture. Why would we post watches around our allies? Just make sure security is nice and tight.
Just now, we received a recommendation from Assistant Inquisitor Gertrude suggesting that we make preparations for battle. Her reasons were unknown.
From Gertrude? Huh. And follow that recommendation. A party's more fun once you liven things up.
Understood. 00 calling Chester 17, Chester 38, Chester 45, Code R, be on your guards. Transmitting level 2 alert. 17, copy. 38, copy. 45, understood. It'd have been so much cooler if you said copy too, nah. I just got nervous. Right. 45, come over here a second. What is it? Hey, we're on the job. Stop, don't play with my ears. Your ears? Better follow down, nah. What did you say? You're kidding, right? That's impossible.
Cornelia is heading there, now. The odds of Beatrice attacking here are extremely high. I recommend suspending the reception and evacuating.
Nah, fuck that. What's going on, Erica? Something go wrong with the entertainment? No, my master. Please continue to enjoy the reception. Hey, somebody, let's get Lady Bencastle some more dry plum wine. Erica didn't have time to hide her agitation. When Berncastle saw this, she knew that their final late guest had finally arrived.
Lucine, I hear there's been some movement in the guest house. The guest house? Who cares about the game board now? Well, they're saying that Cannon could disappeared from the cousin room. What? You a moron. The cousin room is a perfect closed room with a door and all the windows perfectly sealed. It's impossible for him to escape. No, I've been snooping about as well. There's no mistake. Cannon has disappeared from the cousin room. He's probably hiding somewhere in the cousin room. Or else he's managed to trick everyone since the beginning and was never in that room to begin with.
Good pick, Mammon.
That's impossible. It's been guaranteed that everyone is in the cousin room except the specific names Lady Erica read aloud back then. It's impossible for him to trick his way out of there. How did he get past the Jungfrau seal barrier? And first off, where is Cannon-kun? Find him at once.
Oh, they added the kun on the end. That's great.
I keep doing that accidentally. I've become so used to reading them with the honorifics that I just see the name and I like...
You're becoming a perfect weeb. It's perfect.
Nah.
At that moment, the cathedral suddenly went black.
I refuse.
The surprise commotion of the guests filled the cathedral.
She's here!
00 calling all Chesters. Code R alert. Chester 17, can you repair the electrical systems? Negative. Communications with the management staff have been severed. All Chesters, code red. Rock and roll. Copy, copy, copy. Understood. Copy. The sniper teams in the chandeliers all release their safes at once. The entire security team down in the hall loaded their ammunition.
Lady Erica, let us evacuate to the waiting room. It is dangerous here.
What's dangerous? I'm the territory lord of this world. Why should I have to run away in fear?
Gertrude set up a VIP guard barrier. Call Cornelia back here at once.
Yes, executing.
A barrier? I need to be wrapped in one of your pitiful, pathetic barriers while I'm wearing a wedding dress? How insulting! This disturbance made even Battler groan as he sat in the next seat over like a doll. Even with his soul sealed, Battler probably realized that something strange was going on. She's late. Right, Lambda?
Totally! She kept us waiting.
What was that just now? A love letter from someone.
A fan letter? From the Lambda-chan fan club.
Lambda Delta played dumb and munched some popcorn. Then, the lights finally turned on. It was clear that during that blackout, Beatrice had snuck in somewhere nearby, possibly even inside the cathedral itself. The Whispering Demon attendants all realized it as well. Whose scheme was this, and what were they doing? Though it may have been imprudent, they were looking forward to this, and an excited chatter filled the cathedral.
Looks like she came.
Gulp! They let you come back too?
Come on, putting me in jail is pointless.
Duh.
Riche, Bella's closed room, the cousin room, and even the final possibility of the next remove are all being sealed. How are you planning to save Bella?
Let us suppose that Milady has found some tricks. If so, she would inevitably have to march in here to thrust it in Lady Erica's face. But against all of these Chester troops, I can't believe this many of them are hiding here. It's impossible. She'll be stunned to death. Rabbity has dashed all about the hall. Incredible that she could remain hidden and unnoticed with so many people around.
If she can just get close enough to challenge Erica, she should be able to get herself an even fight.
I see. That move. However, does Milady have that item with her? She always complains and dislikes it when I prepare them for her. My.
What?
She's a troublesome one to the end.
What?
Amid the crowd, Renove took something out and showed it. When Vigilia saw, she understood what that in his hand meant.
I'd love to know.
I'd love to know too. True, with that, it should be possible to stop the attacks from the Chester Corps.
I would love to know. Well, if it doesn't work on Erica, we're through. The problem is getting her right in front of Erica, if only for a second. Justices, well, the Chesters would probably prevent that with all they have. Leah, do you think you can gain her that time?
Yes. Vigilia gave a small nod. However, the problem was the two Chester troops standing at her back. Since the time she tried to jump out in front of the procession, she had been marked constantly. It was possible with Vigilia's vast magical power to momentarily take out all the Chester troops in the cathedral. That would only gain a short bit of time, but it would be enough to confront Erica. The Chester troops knew this, so they kept a close eye on Vigilia with tense faces. At that moment, the great cathedral door was blasted to bits.
Hell yeah, dude.
Fuck yes!
Let's go.
Oh! The fragments became bright gold butterflies, which danced across the room in a beautiful blizzard of gold leaf. That golden storm slowly faded away. My hand is hovering.
He's hovering over it.
I'm hovering over the item. Then at the entrance to that red carpeted path to the grave, a calm, majestic figure was. Guard, shoot to kill.
I think that was Lanol.
It's fine. Oh, you're right, because kill.
Uh-huh.
Negative, conducting identity comparison. Glanor ordered the guards to shoot the intruder right away, but Chester Double-O didn't respond. Was it because she had been warned about shooting the guests, and was afraid of the consequences of possibly shooting a drunk guest pulling some kind of prank? No, Double-O was just coolly and calmly carrying out her duties. Oh, what a surprise! And I thought you weren't going to make it. The pair faced each other from either end of the long red carpet. However, in between them stood several dozen Chester honor guards. It took you quite some time to come here.
This is just getting very anime very
Incredibly
quickly.
anime. Most honored guest. You had us all quite worried, but I'm glad you managed to make it to the reception at least.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Beato laughed. That chuckle made Battler's eyes quiver slightly.
You.
That's it, lads!
There it is.
There it is!
The pipe's back.
The pipe's in my hand! Did I keep you waiting, Fruit Erica? I'm here to celebrate! She had an overpowering and evil presence about her, strong enough to make anyone shiver. Was there really any need to confirm my identity now? Who else could possess such an overwhelming presence? Beatrice! Let us meet again in hell is a favorite parting line of mine, but... Identity confirmed. It is the great Lady Beatrice. This time it really did happen. Frito Erica! At that moment, the two Chester troops standing behind Vigilia slumped over and fell to the floor. Renove had touched the bases of their big ears from behind. It was clear that he had applied some sort of magic. Someone find the doctor. These girls appear to be ill. All Chesters, open fire! Beata now! Just an instant before the Chester troops could fire, Vigilia raised her arms to the heavens. Her magical power, which is more than enough to remind all present what her name had meant at the height of her strength, became a spirit wave that exploded throughout the cathedral. Its shockwave made the stained glass windows shatter, and the colorful glass shards poured down everywhere. Spirit particle warfare defenses, hurry on, reboot! However, all of the Chiesa honor guards who didn't have particle defenses toppled over like dolls. The ceiling snipers were defended and able to avoid a crash, but it would take several minutes before the system could be rebooted. That span of time should be enough to reach Erica. However, it wouldn't be possible to defeat Erica in just a few minutes. There was no way they'd be able to carry Battler away in that time. What else could they use this precious time for? Beato dashed down the red carpeted path. She ran down the path to the grave, which was lined by Chiesa troops lying there like corpses. She had called this place hell. In that case, running from hell to the grave was actually going backwards. Beato's figure dashing through the corpse-ridden path truly symbolized her resurrection. "Milady, take this!" "Got it!" As she dashed, she snatched something white from Ronobe's outstretched hand. There was no longer anyone blocking her path to Erica. However, at that instant, a golden thread came down in front of her and rapidly sewed through the red carpet towards her like a sewing machine. Ha! We have a meddler! Reload complete, requesting data, yeah. Fire radar targeted, tunneling to 410. 410 was clever. She had predicted Virgilia would go for a spirit particle attack and had folded her ears and 4 fires over beforehand. So they were the only ones who weren't taken out.
So fucking stupid.
Firing! Once again, the golden sewing needle thread chased after Beato, weaving like a sewing machine. It was as though an undulating golden snake was shooting after her. Impudence! You mean to delay my precious showdown with Erica? Beato jumped sideways away from the red carpet, then dashed across the long table covered with beautiful food. The gold snake chased after her, sewing through the pure white tablecloth like a sewing machine and scattering dishes left and right. You want a kick for good measure. The goat attendants ran about wildly, trying to escape. The cathedral was wrapped in pandemonium. I can't believe some of those rabbits evaded the spirit particle attack. This is bad. If they take up that position, there's nothing we can do. The pair of snipers attacking from the chandelier high above were much further away than Erica was, too far for Beato to reach. Furthermore, their position landed the entire cathedral inside their range of fire. Too bad, nah, Beato-sama. The trials of love are harsh, nah. 4-5, new magazine.
You mean this?
Garb handed her the magazine. 4-5 always handed them over backwards, so 410 was a bit confused to have one handed her the right way up. What? Now! Now! Let go! Now! No matter how distant a position they might take, it was no problem for the elusive Garp. Garp twisted their long ears up, then tickled them with her thumbs. The Chiesa's greatest weapon was also their greatest weakness. The two doubled over with laughter.
I've got these two, but how many seconds do we have left? The other Chiestas will be reactivated.
On the other chandeliers, even more powerful Chiesas were slowly starting to move again. It will be impossible to buy any more time. Ah, Garp! Thanks, I'm in your debts.
Don't forget to thank these guys too.
Beato, good luck! Hang in there! You don't have much time. Erica! Beato cut through the crowd of scampering goats like Moses. Her goal was straight in front of her, the place where Erica and Battler were seated. Here we go, lads. Then a red barrier took form, blocking her path. It was the VIP guarding barrier that Gertrude had set up. She stepped forward and laid out her last line of defense to block Beato's path.
Let it be known that you will get no closer.
You think a wall like that can stop me?
How long until the Chiestas reactivate? Within 30 seconds.
As the oldest of the 7 sisters of Purgatory, Lucifer stood in waiting behind the bride and groom. She wanted to save Beato. If she could just distract Gertrude for a moment, the wall would disappear. However, the 7 sisters were furniture. They served the territory lord, so they couldn't move to help Beato. Glanor glanced over at Lucifer. There was a coercive tint into her eyes.
You are not allowed to move except by the orders of your master. Who's our master? It's Erica now, idiots. Now our master is Battler-sama. True, Erica only speaks on his behalf. That's right, Oni-sama, whose furniture are we? It's just too delicious, let's dig in!
What a horseshit. The red absolute barrier flickered for just an instant. Beelzebub's stake had pierced Gertrude's shoulder, and her concentration had wavered, but it didn't break. Slowly and expressionlessly, Gertrude turned to look at Lucifer.
By whose orders? Know that Lady Erica has made no such order. We do have orders.
The orders of our master. How can a master who cannot speak give orders? Even though he can't talk, understanding your master's will is furnish's job. And it cannot be helped.
The seven stakes shot at Gertrude at once. Gertrude had chosen to take all of those direct attacks, refusing to abandon the barrier until the last moment. Though she was resilient enough to be called a literal Iron Maiden and receive no damage at all, it was more than enough to make her flinch and lose control of the barrier. Good work, my furniture! Beata shot through the scattered red fragments of the barrier, and she was finally right in front of the bride, her rival, Erica. However, there stood the final shield protecting Erica. Death sentenced Delanor.
You're too late. Time is already up, Lady Beatrice.
GS-17, data link to all GS's. Incoming data from Archangel Satellite, homing format, verdict model, conceptual guidance. GS-20, reactivation complete. GS-127, reactivation complete. Time's up now. No, not there! Not there, no!
Riche, good luck. Jump.
Glador! Back off, Lanoy Nox. This isn't your fight.
I have received a red truth denying you from Lady Burncastle. I am afraid this will become your grave.
Ooh, I don't know what Burncastle's allowed her to say. However, I don't need to sit around and let that longsword tell me. I'll play with you all you want later, but for now, back off. There's no time. The GSs have already finished reactivating. I'm only living on a bit of borrowed time.
You will be the one to retreat. You are the pitiable actor who has chosen the wrong time to make an appearance.
Lanor's red longsword cut a large arc of absolute denial, which headed straight for the crown of Beata's head. However, in that instant there was thunk, and the curve missed slightly. Beata didn't let this good fortune go to waste. She slipped past the longsword, knocked Lanor aside, and finally stood right in front of Erica. This time not a single person stood in her way.
This is popcorn? Where did this come from? Urgent request from the Bites bodyguard team. Let the GS Sisters Imperial Guard fire at the intruder immediately. It was popcorn? What the fuck?
I'll give you 2 cases of what it was. The commotion quieted. Oh my god.
What a fake out. That is the biggest fake out we've had this whole fucking series.
However, no one shot. Why? They could have shot if they wanted to. All of the GS troops had completely targeted her and removed their safeties. Of course, all of them had finished reactivating. However, they hesitated to pull the trigger.
Why aren't they shooting? Let the ceremony guards immediately. Wait. Look at that.
What is it, my dude? Lanor's expression grew grim. Then she quietly put her red longsword away. After all, Erica would have to make a decision. If she decided to ignore it, they could shoot to kill. However, if Erica picked that up, they must not do so. So they couldn't pull the triggers until Erica decided. What is it, my dude?
What is going on?
What's this white thing that's been dropped and Erica has to pick up? Oh my god.
I'm confused.
Why won't anyone shoot?
Look closely. See what Beata just threw at Erica?
Lambda Delta pointed, still chomping down popcorn. It was hard to see from the balcony. Beata had thrown something like a white handkerchief at Erica. It had fallen to Erica's feet. What was that white thing?
She really knows what she's doing, that girl. She knows what it means to be the main character.
How interesting. The thing that had hit Erica in the face and fallen to the floor was a white glove that Beata had gotten from Renove. Hitting someone with a glove like that could only mean one thing. It was... Oh, Zeppa, what's this? What does it mean?
This is a request for a duel. If she picks up the glove, it means she's accepted.
And if she doesn't, the GSs will shoot? Why would she pick it up?
She doesn't have to. However, we in the demon attendants would probably spread the word far and wide that she dishonorably ran away from a duel.
She would be known for eternity as a coward who ran away from the jewel of love. and we know that she is fucking prideful as hell.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Beatrice waited firmly and composedly. If Erica just kicked it away, and at that very instant, the Chiestas would probably all fire at once, turning her into a golden embroidery. So Erica didn't have to pick it up. However, she could not afford to be afraid of picking it up. After all, she was the true victor who had defeated Battler's closed room trick and logic. If she was the victor, she should have nothing to fear. So if she was afraid of doing it, it would prove that she still felt a tinge of doubt about her victory. If I don't pick it up, I can kill you without getting these clothes dirty. That would probably liven up your reception. However, you will pick it up. Oh, and why is that? I've brought a wonderful gift, just perfect for you. You want to know what that is, therefore you'll pick it up. Not interested, goodbye. You'll pick it up. I know that you want to hear about the closed room I brought you, which, unlike that trivial guest room of battlers, is simple, basic, and absolutely cannot be solved. A closed room that absolutely cannot be solved. I know you want to accept my challenge. After all, you are the detective.
Oh!
Yes! Erica threw off her wedding dress as though it were a cape. Yes. Before she is a bride or a piece or a witch, she is one thing first and foremost. I am the detective. I acknowledge you as my opponent. However, are you qualified to participate in this game? Have you managed to fix the logic error? If you pick that glove up, I will prove that I fixed it in my fight against you. Good! Oh! The cathedral was filled with chatter. Erica had picked up the glove. A duel, a duel! The cathedral was wrapped in a bizarre excitement. At Erica's nod, Lionel pushed the crowd away, leaving the pair alone. People were permitted to witness this duel, however, no one would be allowed to interfere in any way. It's okay, Battler-san. I've already found a way to save you.
How?
I'm going to save you now. Please hang in there just a little longer. Beata's resolute expression returned, and she grinned boldly, looking down on Erica. There can be no doubt. That's the expression worn only by the Golden Witch, the presence of the Master of Closed Rooms.
What is going on?
A shadow dashed through the stormy rose garden. It was incredibly light and swift. The raindrops never touched him. He made no splashes in the countless puddles. His feet left no tracks in the mud. That rushing figure was Cannon. Then he ran up the stairs to the entrance of the mansion. He did not slow down in the slightest to open the door. He ran straight at it, as though trying to break through, and then leapt into it.
I was not expecting to get fucking straight up
know!
Russian guitar just now.
It's so good. Though the door was shut, even that couldn't stop Cannon.
This is some fucking pod farm tones. This sounds like fucking bees.
He slipped through the door, fell into the entranceway, and slowly stood up. His body wasn't even wet. And, as he recalled those nostalgic days when serving the Ushimi family, which would never come again, he ran once more. He was heading for Battler's guest room. He ran past the servant room, through the entrance hall, and past the door to the parlor. Then, the doors of the kitchen and the dining hall came into sight. All of it brings back fond memories. There was the honor and rigidity of serving Kinzo directly. However, that man wasn't rigid all the time. When the family was out of sight and he didn't have to preserve that air of majesty, his face could turn unbelievably childish, and he would sometimes ask me to take part in strange pranks. The master let me shoot lots of guns, didn't he? That was pretty fun. Customer was actually surprisingly kind. He must have gotten the impression that the master bullied me a lot. Whenever I was the only one around, he would talk to me in a very familiar way, almost as though he was a classmate of mine. I sort of regret that I held back and never did anything but nod in return. Madame was a really strict person. Ever since some rumor went around saying that she was strict on female servants, but soft towards male servants, I get the feeling she viewed me as an enemy. However, she was also a woman to be pitied. When I've seen her alone, I've noticed her shoulders sag with the pain many times. There were a lot of servants who weren't there. Some lasted a short while, others stayed a long time. Genji-sama was the one person I might have called my father. I am both grateful and resentful towards him over many things. They all mix together, cancel out, and end up with a neutral emotion. In that case, Kumasawa-san could probably be called my mother. She's helped me out many times. I've always wanted to repay her someday, and now I've lost that chance for all time. Shannon is my Nei-san. Without her, I wouldn't have been able to be me. Thanks for teaching me that the ocean is blue. Goda? I hate that guy.
That's exactly what I wanted right now.
Still, when I complimented his shoe, he would sometimes turn red and say there was enough for seconds. I didn't dislike that part of him. I wonder why such a strong memory popped up at the instant I ran past the dining hall. And then, my memories of Jessica. Oh.
Oh, it's a boy servant. How old are you?
I think those were the first words she spoke to me. Come to think about it, she was probably interested in me ever since then. I really did have enough time to put up a love that wouldn't lose to George-sama and Shannon's. But, since I could only see the grey sea, I had wasted almost all of that time. What does she like about me? What do I like about her? I get the feeling we never really made that clear. No, she told me. We should have stayed together longer to eventually find that out. It would have been fine to find reasons for our love later. It took me far too long to realize that. Now, I think I can accept it. I know why Shannon won the duel. God must have been watching. You had so much more courage than I did, and God didn't abandon you. I reached the hallway with the guest rooms. There was someone lying on the ground. It was Battler. He was lying just outside the guest room, a chain tied to his neck. He had probably struggled to do something with the chain lock from the outside until he lost consciousness. His fingernails on both hands had been torn off, and they were stained with blood. I could tell at a glance just how hard he had tried until the final moment when his heart had died. The collar binding him wouldn't disappear unless the chain lock was set. Battler-sama, it's alright. I'm going to save you now. Battler responded faintly. He probably hadn't even imagined that help would come to this eternal closed room. He was so scared that this might be an auditory hallucination brought about by a fleeting delusion that he couldn't bear to open his eyes easily. Cannon gripped Battler by the arms and dragged him into the room. The inside of the room was terrible. The windows had been brutally shattered, and the wind and rain had made its way inside. All kinds of tools and furniture lay broken there. However, Battler hadn't smashed them out of rage. The curtain had been removed, torn, and twisted up into a bundle. He had probably used trial and error to see if that could be used as a rope for some trick. He had tried using everything in the room, exploring all possible options of escape. The traces could be seen throughout the room and even in the bathroom. The empty bathtub was stained with just a bit of blood, and the nippers lay there at the bottom. To protect his tail, he had nearly been prepared to accept Berncastle's brutal method of escape, cutting himself into pieces and washing himself down the drain. He was even willing to tear apart his own body to protect the game Beato had entrusted him with. He had probably questioned himself over and over in this bathtub, wondering if there was any other way out. By the clock of the game world, not even a single day had passed. However, just how many years has it been in the closed room of the Logic Era? When faced with an endless span of time, any way of ending it, no matter how cruel, is tempting. However, he'd rejected that until the very end. And, even in the last moment when his heart died, he had wanted to show so much to show his iron will to escape from this closed room, that he had chosen to fall here in the corridor, with the chain still around his neck. Battler-sama, it's Cannon. Please, come to your senses. He wiped Battler's face with a towel wetted in the sink. In response to that cold sensation, Battler's heart slowly started beating again.
It's you, Cannon-kun.
Yes, it's me, Cannon. You did well to endure until today.
Looks like I slept in just a little too much.
Battler realized that the feel of this towel on his neck meant that the cursed collar and chain were gone. There's no longer anything binding you here. Come on, please, head back quickly.
But if I unset that chain lock, the chain will come back.
Don't worry, no longer does any chain exist to bind you, Battler-sama. I'll remain here.
What did you say?
By now, Battler knew the terror of this endless closed room better than anyone else, so it was more filled with shock than happiness. Shock at the determination of the one who was willing to become the new prisoner. I'll be fine. There's no need to worry.
But
Battler-sama, isn't there still something you have to do? Go back, quickly. There is someone fighting in your place. There is someone awaiting your return. Will you not go back? His stern words and gaze shot straight through Battler.
Are you sure?
Yes, that will be fine. This way, I can repay my debt from back then.
Debt? Do you owe me something?
You aren't the one I owe, Battler-sama. It's okay, so go. I don't like being indebted to others. Go, quickly. You must not keep her waiting now, so hurry. Battler couldn't argue back anymore. He silently bowed his head, unset the chain, and opened the door. Cannon had remained in the room, so no chain appeared about Battler's neck. He could leave this closed room just by running out. The happy-sounding voices that he heard at the far end of the corridor had been replaced with an excited chatter. There must have been some sort of strange disturbance going on. As Cannon went out into the corridor,
To see me off, the merciless collar and chain had already captured their new prisoner. He would remain inside this endless closed room in Battler's place. Ganonkin. I feel the same.
Narrators. About what?
I don't like keeping debts. I'll definitely repay you, and I'll do it soon.
I hope I can count on that. Go on. Run. Run to the one you love, and please, never get lost again. Battler didn't turn back. He ran with everything he had. He ran out into the corridor, whose warmth he had cursed so many times. That cursed chain no longer bound him. He ran to the very end of the corridor, beyond the light. Cannon, still connected to the chain, watched him go, then quietly returned to the guest room. Now he only had to worry about his one job. Stay in this room, and fix the error in logic. Now, I set the chain lock. As soon as he set it, the chain disappeared from his neck. Then, if he hid in the one place Eric hadn't checked, the broken logic would be fixed. The closet door opened slowly. It was well oiled, and opened without a sound. It was cramped inside and dark. This tiny space is the last place I'll see. As long as I remain hidden in here, the logic will be preserved. That's an easy job. Easier than caring for the roses. Cannon went in it, and closed the double doors from the inside. As soon as he did, a single small gold butterfly appeared, melted into the darkness of the closet, and vanished. It was a sign that the logic has been fixed. The witch's game had already stopped, and the clock of the world of pieces would never tick again. So, for all eternity, no one would come to save him from this place. That's okay. This way, I pay back my debt. Beatrice. The power of the gold butterfly brooch taught me about love. In the third game, it gave me some quiet time alone with Jessica. I get the feeling it did many other small things for me. At any rate, I've paid back all of my debts now. Now, all of my debts are... That music tape Jessica lent me. I never gave it back, did I? That's okay. Isn't it, Jessica? I like that one. Can I accept that as a present? You want me to dub it over and hand it back? Slowly, Cannon's body began to melt into a cloud of gold butterflies. And after the inside of the cramped, dark closet glittered like a golden planetarium. It faded away like the light of fireflies and was painted over by a pitch blackness for all eternity.
Here we go, fight time. Let's have it.
I'm ready. In the cathedral, the goat attendants were all jostling around at the side of the red carpet. On the red carpet, standing across from each other, were Beato and Erica. In their hands were the pistols given to them by Zephyr and Furfur. Flintlocks, are they? How old-fashioned. Pay it no mind. Demons are very particular about style. Its form was similar to an actual old-fashioned gun, but this was, of course, a demon's gun. This wasn't a gun that would propel a lead bullet with an explosion caused by gunpowder, like the pistols used in the duel between Shannon and Cannon, whose bullets had contained a magic that would always kill. These bullets also had bullets that were not made of lead. Beato.
There's no need to worry. She'll win easily and you'll have to deal with her insults again, Leah.
When this match is over, we should ask to be paid every now and then. After the fight ends, perhaps the occasional trip down to the Caribbean would be satisfactory. Enough talk about when the fight is over. That's an ill omen before a duel. Beato, take this seriously. This is no time to be standing and laughing.
Why is Ricci relaxed and Leah tense? Come on. Beatrice, somehow you can do it. Beatrice, somehow is at a disadvantage in this duel. Why? Normally witches are able to use strength and numbers to achieve victory. However, since the game is suspended, she has nothing on her side except the riddle of Battlersummer's guest room. If Erica can just strike a blue wedge through that one riddle, it means she solved everything. They can win. I believe in Beatrice Summer and Battlersummer, our two masters. Did you call me?
Thanks. For once, it feels as though our chances of winning are 50-50, so I'd like to thank you beforehand.
It is simply my job. There is no need to thank me.
In the last game, when you protected me after I lost pathetically, I was happy. That was the first time in my life that anyone has ever protected me. Even my master has never done so. All she has given me is a way to cancel out my pain by exposing the truth of others, so that everyone ends up hurting each other.
Please forgive my arrogance. I felt that I needed to protect you. When I realized what a frail truth you live by, when I saw you being tormented by the tyranny of a mixture of truth and lies that seemed to be more plausible, I wanted to protect you.
Thank you. It wasn't for long, but you were a wonderful partner.
And will remain so.
You're right. Once we've defeated her, let's make tons of mysteries on this island together. I'll have you solve them and tease you as we play. How does that sound?
I like it. Look forward to your challenge.
Ah, sorry, that's a lie. I take it back. That'd be one of those loser flags, wouldn't it? Now aren't you ready, duelists? When the two demons clapped their hands, the duelists instantly returned to their bold, tense smiles. The bullets within those magic guns are not lead.
They are bullets of red and blue truth for a battle between mystery and fantasy.
As long as you possess truth, your bullets are endless.
However, being hit by a single one means instant death.
Are you both prepared? Certainly. Of course. Lady Lambda Delta, O great and powerful witch of certainty and member of the glorious Senate, please come forward. Will you swear to oversee this duel?
Of course. I swear it.
The crowd split and Lambda walked forward with Bencastle by her side. She looked between the faces of the two duelists, then she took out an envelope with the seal of the one-winged eagle and lifted it high.
Beatrice has sent me her revisions to the tale inside a sealed envelope. After inspecting it, I find its contents to be valid. I proclaim the logic error has been avoided. The chain lock is still set, and without any contradiction to the red truth made up to this point.
Wow! The many goat attendants knew the details of Battler's closed room. They realized how difficult it was, and though fiery debates had swept across the crowd during the reception, none had been able to find an answer, and now it was clear that Beatrice had already reached one.
Therefore, this duel is legitimate. It will center around one single point, the closed room of Battler's guest room. Battler disappeared from within a closed room sealed by a chain lock. Therefore, Erica has been armed with the blue truth. Beatrice has been armed with the red truth to counter back. The duel will continue until one side is victorious.
Splendid. Perfect.
Okay, well then, Beato, present your new revised tale and riddle to Erica.
Let's go, lads. Cannon used magic to escape from the cousin's room without breaking the seals. He reached the guest room and used magic to let Battler escape from that closed room. What What a foolish tale.
Very well. Erica, is there anything you wish to confirm?
Repeat it. The one who rescued Battler was, without a doubt, Canon. Very well. The one who rescued Battler was, without a doubt, Canon.
Here we go.
So ready.
Friends and adventure goers. Shannon left the room, took the personality of Cannon, went to the
Well, after
room.
all, if Shannon is in one room and Canon is in the other one, and if the truth is that they're the same person,
So easy.
It's so good though. Repeat it. Battler and Canon are different people. I'll say it. Battler and Canon are different people. That's enough.
Erica, you done confirming things?
That was all I needed. I've already decided how to fight.
Okay, let both sides load their bullets.
Erica turned around, pressed her finger against the barrel of the pistol, made her Bluetooth into a bullet, and pushed it in. There was no rule saying that she had to turn away, but she didn't want her expression to be read. Or it might have been because she couldn't stand the tension of looking at Beata's bold smile. Beata had already finished loading her red truth. She waited for Erica to finish while calmly puffing on her pipe. Then, she looked at Battler, who sat on the throne of the Territory Lord, right next to the two witches who were there as witnesses. Battler's consciousness was still hazy. However, he apparently understood that Beata had come to duel for his sake, so that he could be saved. It was all he could do, to just look at Beata with those sluggish eyes. But a flood of emotions passed between them. There was no need for words. A look was enough for them now. Erica closed her eyes tightly, her fingers still up against the barrel. At that moment, her stunning powers of concentration made all the distractions of the outside world disappear. Good.
I hope you're excited to fight yourself again.
I know, this is gonna be great. It's always been like this, but my concentration really is good. Are you ready, me? Frodo Erica. First, let's lay out the situation. Battler disappeared from that closed room. The chain lock is set. Did he disappear by magic? Of course not. There has to be a trick. Cannon didn't save him with magic. He just came, took Battler's pace, and set the chain. Everyone knows that much. The problem is the next step. No, it's actually the step before that one. Cannon was in the cousin room in the guest house. That room was completely sealed with packing tape, and it's been proven that the seal was intact until the time of the logic error. In other words, Cannon escaped from the closed room that was absolute, with no chance for excuses or twisted logic. Good! This is why she called it a simple yet ultimate closed room. How did he escape from the perfect closed room known as the cousin's room? Heh. If I got stuck thinking only about that question, I'd be no better than your average kid detective. That room is a perfect closed room, so there's no way to escape. In other words, trying to think of ways to escape from there is a waste of time. The real question is how Cannon was somewhere outside the cousin room when it was sealed. The cousin room is a completely sealed can. If he was in there when it was sealed, then it's already game over. In other words, at the time the cousin room was sealed, he wasn't inside it anymore. Let's look at the time I checked everyone's locations and sealed the rooms. That's the most suspicious part. At that time, we had the 5 people in the next room over, whom I confirmed with my own eyes. Hideyoshi, George, Kumisawa, Shannon, and Nanjo. I mentioned the names of those 5 people during the location check and confirmed that they were in the next room over. Then, I checked to see whether everyone else was in the cousin's room, and that confirmed for me as well. I said everyone else, so whether it was Cannon or Yoshio or even Purapura Pico Man, they all should have been sealed in the cousin's room. It seems perfect at a glance. However, that phrase everyone else seems perfect, it's fishy. Strictly speaking, everyone else refers to all humans whose names I did not mention directly. In other words, there are exceptions. For example, it's been confirmed that Hideyoshi and George were in the next room over, so humans with the name Hideyoshi or George don't need to be inside the cousin's room. It seems that Cannon told Jessica that his name was Yoshia, but that was no red truth. In other words, what if Cannon's real name is the same as one of those in the next room over? Winks at camera. They seem to be about the same age, so let's use George. So, what if there were 2 Georges in that room? That doesn't violate the red truth saying that Hideyoshi, George, Kumisawa, Shannon, and Nanjo were in their next room over. Let's say that Cannon's real name was Tanaka George, but Tsushimiya George and Tanaka George could exist in that room at the same time. In other words, there were 6 humans with 5 names. It looked to my eyes as though there were only 5 people in the next room over, but a 6th person, Cannon, was hiding somewhere. I don't have the detective's authority, so it wouldn't be that difficult for him to fool my eyes and hide. I see. The double name trick. Stupid, so stupid. Alright, I've made my logic. Cannon, who was hiding in the next room over, not the cousin room, left by the window after the seals were placed. Bang. Ugh. Ow. The gun had fired, and the tip of my finger was stained with blood. Oh, of course, what am I thinking? The Bluetooth gunpowder exploded. Ah, damn it. I've already had to seal that one. Blue Chew is arguing about the window of the next room over is forbidden, so I can't use it. Oh, an accidental discharge. Careful now, guns can be dangerous. Shut up. It's just a little mistake. The window of the next room over. You sealed it with some absurd trick, right? Garb told me. Is that so? And so what? Glanor, remove that foolish seal. That seal has become your shackles. Beatrice figured out everything I've been thinking, and she's acting so confident, telling me to go ahead and use that argument.
Lady Erica.
Please remove it, that fool! I'll make her regret this. It seems you are ready, duelists. Please face each other with your pistols. Then fire with the sparks of truth. After facing away and readying herself one last time, Erica spun around. Beato had been facing her since the beginning. She wore a confident, challenging smile, as if she'd been kept waiting.
I'd love to imagine that she's like still holding the gun in her right hand with
and the pipe
still, just still between her fingers below the gun.
In the same hand, yeah.
Yeah.
Then without any signal, the two slowly raised their guns.
Just like...
Yeah, I'm just pointing
hand.
my pipe now. Pointing the red and blue... Oh, I didn't get to read that!
I'm sorry!
Go back, I was so excited! Pointing the red and blue glints that hid within their barrels at each other. Come, I could do with a little fun!
Begin!
First is how can I escape from the cousin room. I'll use that as my bullet. Oh, so we'll start from there. Let's have it. Hold nothing back. Here I go. After holding the gun high and pointing it at Beata once more, Erica pulled the trigger with the statements of red and blue truth. The cousin room is guaranteed to be a perfect closed room until the end, so if Cannon really was in this room, it would be impossible for him to escape. In other words, Cannon was not in that room at the time it was sealed. The name Cannon is an alias. His real name is still unknown. If his real name happens to be the same as anyone in the next room over, that wouldn't contradict the check on who is in that room. In other words, it's possible for him to be in the next room over, not the cousin room. The ghost attendants shouted and clapped their hands, thinking, yes, such a move should work. I love watching this. I love being surrounded by this chatter. After all, I am the detective. It is true that the next room over was sealed, but at the time of the logic error, only the doors were checked to see whether the seals were preserved. Therefore, there is a chance that the window seals were broken. Cannon was in the next room over and escaped through that window. That is all. Any other theory would be impossible. If this doesn't work, then there's no truth left. As soon as she said, that is all, both of them fired at the same time. After the blast rang out, it was Erica's gun that fell to the floor. Beata's red bullet had knocked Erica's gun from her hands. Was it arrogance or confidence? If she had just aimed that bullet at Erica's heart, the whole thing would have been over. Beata had missed on purpose. There was a bold smile on her face. It was as though she was offering to play with Erica a little longer. No, that's exactly what made her Beato. Beatrice, the witch who mocks others with unsolvable closed room tricks. At the time the next room over was sealed, Hideyoshi, George, Kumasawa, Shannon, and Nanja were in it, and the number of people in the next room over was 5. No one existed there except for those to whom those 5 names refer. Old people could only go by their own names. It was a thoroughly merciless red truth. It was simple and severe. Now that the number of people had been limited to 5, any leeway for Cannon hiding there had been completely denied. Also, it was now clear that only people holding those 5 names existed within the room. Erica couldn't even make a new theory by suggesting that one person held 2 names, so the 5 names referred to only 4 people, which would let an unnamed Cannon sneak in. Furthermore, the part about how people could only use their own names was a fatal blow that cut down countless theories. Come to think of it, you've only ever met the half-sleeping me from the previous game, haven't you? What do you think, Erica? How do you like the Cave of the Golden Witch? That's insane. Are you saying that Cannon slipped out of the room by magic?
I do believe that was the claim, yes.
More importantly, why did you just knock my gun away? The human side must crush all of the witch's riddles, whereas the witch side need only crush the humans there's once. Don't you find that unfair? So I decided to have it be even. Even! I've decided that I'll make my victory condition the destruction of all of your theories. I've won the riddle of Cannon's escape, but there's one more! Let's return to the first battleground, where you gave battlers so much trouble. When Beata snapped her fingers, that guest room of battlers was reconstructed. She meant to fight once more in the room that had threatened Battler with a logic error, determined to settle things once and for all. Erica, pick up your gun. We'll have this room be your coffin. I say the same to you. I'll make you regret ever giving me this chance. Witness, allow Erica to use X.
X? You mean a basis that doesn't need to be explained? What are you gonna let it do?
Let's give Erica permission to use Bluetooths for Cannon and this guest room trick, without making her explain how he escaped from this closed room. A theory explaining how Cannon saved Battler would also need to explain how Cannon escaped from his own closed room, or it would have no basis. Erica had already lost that basis. Bed was giving her a handicap by saying that she didn't need to explain that part. Of course! You've already used the red truth to guarantee that Cannon saved Battler. It's only natural that I be given this privilege.
It's only natural that I suck and you'd give me a handicap again.
Pretty much. Erica faced away again and concentrated even harder. As though twisting the knob on a radio, she turned all noise and idle thoughts down to 0. Here we go.
Dun, dun, dun.
Let's go through, Erica. Detective through to Erica. As long as Cannon reaches this place, rescuing Battler isn't hard. The trick is as follows. Cannon uses some kind of escape trick X to reach the front of the guest room. While I was busy in the bathroom, Battler left the closet. Battler undid the chain lock. Battler went outside. Cannon entered in his place. Cannon set the chain lock. Cannon went into the closet. The end. This satisfies the two red truths about the chain lock being set in Battler's absence, and in exchange for this escape trick, Cannon remains inside the guest room. There's no room for argument on how tightly this room can act as a closed room. That chain is cursed. In this demonic closed room, one person must remain as a sacrifice for it to be acceptable. However, is such a simple theory really enough? The rescuer switched places with him. Then, the rescuer hid in the closet. No other sort of theory is possible, and yet, Beto thinks she can win. In that case, does some other trick exist? It's impossible! I swear on the history of the mystery genre that there's absolutely, definitively, categorically no other way. But if I give in here, I couldn't call myself a detective. Consider it, imagine, don't stop thinking. That's how you drive blue wedges into witches. What I can expect to see is, yes, a wordplay trick. It can only be some kind of wordplay that just barely slips through the net of words spoken in red. In that case, I'll cross all possibilities. I'll have to repeat line after line. This final duel has already begun, even though we haven't pulled our triggers yet. Repeat it. At the time Battler was rescued, only Cannon entered the guest room. I acknowledge it. At the time Battler was rescued, only Cannon entered the guest room. I believe that was the whole point. Repeat it. From the time I entered the room to the time of the logic error, Battler, Cannon, and I were the only ones who entered or exited the room. I acknowledge it. From the time you entered the room to the time of the logic error, you, Battler, and Cannon were the only ones who went in or out of the guest room. Repeat it. This refers to 3 people. I acknowledge it. It refers to 3 people. You, Battler, and Cannon. Confirming a definition, can I assume that when you say 3 people, that's equal to the number of bodies? You're saying that the 3 bodies went in or out of the room, right? I've had enough of things being mixed up with names and numbers of people. I want this point to be clear. Of course! 3 people, in other words, 3 bodies went in or out. Only you and Cannon entered, and only Battler left. It has already been said in red that all people could only use their own names. Therefore, the names Erica, Battler, and Cannon can only be used by those people. Repeat it. I am not the rescuer. Of course! You are the detective, are you not? Don't worry, I will respect that. Confirming definition. How do you define rescuer? This is also important. I want to quickly remove the possibility that I rescued him accidentally. I'll define rescuer to mean any person who set the chain lock after Battler unset it. This definition applies whether said person intended to rescue Battler or not. Since you said after Battler unset the chain lock, it's impossible for this to have occurred before I set foot in the room. From that point on, I would undo the chain again for all eternity. After all, the game was suspended at that point. Therefore, it was impossible for me to have been the rescuer accidentally. More, I can focus on it even more. The chain can only be set from the inside. It's impossible for a person to escape on their own. Therefore, we know that Battler didn't escape by himself. And I'm not the rescuer. Only Cannon can be the rescuer. And Beto has already said that Cannon is the rescuer with the red truth. There's nothing to doubt. There's no room for anyone but Cannon to be involved, at least so far. Repeat it. Going in or out refers to when someone crosses the boundary between the guest room and the area outside it. I acknowledge it. Repeat it. By the guest room, we're referring to the entirety of the bedroom, the bathroom, and the closet. I acknowledge it. I have no intention of wriggling out of this by saying that the closet isn't part of the guest room. Confirming definition. The inside of the guest room is divided into 3 sections: the bedroom, the bathroom, and the closet. I also recognize it as such. Furthermore, you have already confirmed with the red truth that 2 of those sections, the bedroom and the bathroom, had no one hiding in them. Repeat it. There is someone in the closet. I refuse. Why is that? Because Cannon is hiding there? Cannon can use magic. It's true that he hid himself in the closet for a time, but he then immediately vanished with his magic. So there is no one in the closet. I cannot respond. I ask you to repeat it once more. Fool! The witch side has no obligation to explain how they did things with magic. No, it's completely obvious. There's no way she can say that Cannon disappeared with magic using the red truth. After all, magic doesn't exist. But is this enough? I've gone through every last minor detail, and yet there's an uncanny lack of dubious points. I can't think of any way around the theory I've had since the beginning. Cannon must be in the closet. He has to be. There's no other way. There's no way he isn't. I'll say it again. This closed room can only be escaped from by switching places with the rescuer. If Cannon tried to escape as well, another rescuer would be needed. However, no rescue exists for Cannon. Battler escaped, so it's impossible for it to be him. And I won't undo the chain for all eternity. The people who have gone in and out of the room have been confirmed both by name and number of people. At this rate, my theory is set in stone. First, here are the details of the situation that are certain. The game ended while I was inside the guest room, so I did not undo the chain lock that I had previously set. So, it can't be that he escaped after I left the room. Furthermore, the chain lock was set at the same time I entered the room. No one could have left the room during the few seconds between the time I entered and the time I set the chain lock. The guest room was sealed at the time Balor's corpse was examined, so until I came again and broke the seals, it was absolutely impossible for anyone to go in or out. Therefore, when I entered the room, it is certain that Balor was hiding somewhere inside the guest room. The only chance Balor had to escape was after I broke the seals. To be even more specific, he had no chance to escape except for the time I was in the bathroom. By the above premises, Balor's trick to escape with the chain still set is as follows. Because of the aforementioned reasons, the only one who could have set the chain lock, which can only be set from the inside and allow Battler's escape, is Cannon, the only person to enter the room except for me and Battler. After Cannon entered the room, he set the chain, hid in the one place that he could hide inside the guest room, the closet. Well, that was close. They almost got me. They almost tricked me. I thought I'd cornered him in the closet. It's the opposite. They're trying to make me think he's in the closet. What was the order in which I searched the guest room? First the bedroom. We confirmed with the red truth there was nothing there. Then the bathroom. We confirmed with the red that there was nothing there. That's it, right there. When I examined the bedroom, there was nothing there. However, while I was investigating the bathroom, Cannon slipped out of the closet and hid again somewhere in the bedroom. In other words, my guarantee that no one was in the bedroom was torn apart during a span of 1 minute. I've spotted it! This is the witch's trap, an attempt to lure me into thinking that Cannon's in the closet. The place he's really hiding is the bedroom.
Uh-huh, okay.
I found it. I finally found your trick. That was a close one. If I'd been one step slower, I'd have said there was nowhere to hide except in the closet. And then she'd just say that the closet was empty. No, wait. It works the same way in reverse. I see. Now I get it. It's a logic switching trick. Damn that Beater. So in resolving the logic error, she's discovered this strange trick. If I only notice the closet, she'll have Cannon hide under the bed. And if I only notice the bed, she'll have Cannon hide in the closet. Even though either one would be right, I'd lose no matter which I chose. Unless I expose both at the same time, I can't checkmate her. Incredible. I've never heard of such an unfair trick. If it was a sleight of hand, it'd just be a cheap one. If it was a mystery, it'd just be cheating. However, in this witch's game, it's a legitimate logic trick. In chess, it'd be called a double check. No, a discovered attack. Or wait, would it be a discovered double checkmate? Even though this sort of logic would be a foul trick in the mystery genre, in this world where witches and mystery war, it is such a refined board layout. The beautiful placement of the black pieces that cornered my white king felt almost like an art. So beautiful that if I were a god in some old legend, I might wish to stick it in the sky as a consolation. That beauty even brought tears to my eyes. For the first time, I felt honored at being allowed to participate in this game of truth and witches as a human. And ironically, it taught me, the one who had always believed in a single truth, that there isn't necessarily just one truth. If I just broaden my perspective, I can see completely different truths. And though each of those truths are truth, they're incomplete if they're all you can see. In my life until now, how many truths have I missed because I was blinded by some trivial truth? This is
True nature of this world.
true nature of this world. Because of our arrogance in thinking that only one truth exists, whenever we find one truth, we get blinded to all others. Thank you, Beatrice-san. I never thought that I would learn the true nature of this world from a witch. Slowly, with a soft and quiet gesture, like a flower opening with the morning dew dripping down its side, Erica raised her gun. It's my victory. I've seen through your double check. Then come. Battler's guest room disappearance trick is as follows. While I searched the room, Battler was hiding in the closet. Then, during the disturbance in the bathroom, he unset the chain and escaped from the room. At that time, Cannon was waiting for him in the hallway. Cannon entered the guest room in his place and set the chain. This is the trick to Battler's disappearance. And afterwards, he hid in the bedroom. This happened after I checked to see that there was no one unexpected in the bedroom, so it's valid. In this way, Cannon the rescuer concealed himself in the bedroom. Erica's blue bullet flew in a strange arc, became a wedge of the blue truth, and pierced straight down through the bed and the floor beneath. Berta didn't pull her trigger. However, she did quietly argue back with the red truth. Cannon does not exist in the bedroom. Whoa! The goat attendants gasped. Erica had apparently been defeated, denied by the red truth. For the goats, who couldn't see more than a single truth, it probably looks as though I've lost. Next up is the real one. This is the answer from a human capable of understanding multiple truths. It looks like the Tale of Illusions will end on the second twilight. So, why don't I carry out the remaining twilights and open the door to the Golden Land? If you are to disappear, then it should be surrounded by your golden roses. The fires of blue truth flashed at Erica's feet, and she loaded a blue truth bullet once more. That overflowing blue power was now making her entire gun burn with a blue flame. She wasn't aiming for Beato, she was aiming behind Beato, at the closet. Now that the bedroom has been denied, you've nowhere left to run. Die! Cannon! The 5 wedges of blue truth she released shot right past Beatrice's cheeks, hair, and shoulders, then pincushioned the door to the closet to gouge whatever human was inside to death. The 5 wedges slammed into the door in a vertical line. In other words, on the 4th twilight, gouge the head and kill. On the 5th twilight, gouge the chest and kill. On the 6th twilight, on the 7th twilight, on the 8th twilight, gouge and kill and kill and kill. After being gouged by so many thick and sharp wedges, the human inside wouldn't stand a chance. Here's the truth I've exposed. That is all. When she proclaimed that she had finished, the 5 blue wedges piercing the closet disappeared. However, the many large splintered holes left behind showed that it had indeed been pierced. Then, as though this completed the ceremony that led to the Golden Land, the room that had been created around them became countless golden flower petals and drifted away. By now, the duelists and the crowd of attendants were surrounded by the golden rose garden of the Golden Land. However, the closet behind Beata remained. It stood there all by itself, like a coffin. Then, as though teased open by a dreary wind, the hole-covered closet door slowly opened.
I was told that its hinges were well oiled.
Guess not. Inside was a human figure. That figure was covered up to the head by what appeared to be a greyish robe. Of course, it also had large holes showing that it had been stabbed into. The Eventually it became clear that this was not a robe, but a raincoat. If he had rushed here from the guest house, then there would be nothing strange about him wearing this into the guest room. Then, with a rustle, the raincoat lost its human shape, crumpled, became a cloud of gold butterflies, and disappeared. What the... Inside the coffin of the closet, nothing remained except an empty darkness. Canon does not exist in the guest room. Of course, this includes all parts of the closet, the bedroom, and the bathroom. Canon let Battler escape and hid in the closet. Then he used magic to disappear. This is the witch's truth. That is all.
This fight is over.
And the winner is Beatrice! Whoa!
Oh.
The attendants let out a cheer. Vigilia's group couldn't help but scream and shout in joy. The seven sisters jump about in celebration. Then, at the same moment, the two demons proclaimed Beatrice's victory. Their heads ring worn by Erica, who was slowly crumpling to the ground, and the cursed ring on Battler's finger both burst. At the same time, Battler coughed violently. Battler was starting to regain consciousness. Battler! Battler-san! Beardo lashed onto the coughing Battler in joy. Then Vigilia, Garp, and Renove did the same. Group hug. All of the seven sisters also crowded about him to light.
What a nasty trick. You sure something like this will count? The trick like this, those humans will start complaining again about how this is no mystery.
No, it was a splendid trick. People without love cannot see it. Battler-san! Battler-san! Ah.
Lady Erica! Lady Erica! Someone help her, quickly!
The rose of blood in Erica's chest wouldn't stop opening its petals.
Third-degree conceptual denial syndrome. Use of continuous neutralizer impossible. Neutralization only possible by an emergency approval for resurrection. That piece's master must provide approval for resurrection.
Lady Berncastle, give your approval for her resurrection. Lady Berncastle, where did she go?
Search request to ceremony guards. Find Lady Berncastle.
Understood. Alt yeses, data link. Search format.
How cowardly to think that someone's master wouldn't watch her piece's duel until the end. Know that it is far too cowardly.
Erica, who was being held by Dlanor, had already realized that her master was nowhere to be seen. But she didn't feel lonely. On the contrary, she was relieved that she wouldn't need to be brutally scolded in the last moments of her life. Gods and demons, please pass on the story of her noble passing. Noble? Ha! The bad guy is supposed to die pathetically and make the main character look awesome. Yeah. I'm not anyone's piece anymore. I can finally control my own role.
Lady Erica, you mustn't move.
Stand back! Stay back! When Erica yelled with all of her soul, those who surrounded her were forced back and fell on her butts. Their butts. I am the Witch of Truth, Farudo Erica! The Witch of Truth is the witch who can withstand the truth. Now, I can finally accept the real truth about myself.
What's happening?
The toxin of her own concept being denied raced through her. Her vision was already starting to blur. At the other end of her twisted range of vision were Battler and Beato hugging each other and looking at her. Their expressions were firm. That's okay. Pity and sympathy would only make me look more pathetic. For a loser, that sort of expression is the best.
Lady Erica, the duel is already over. It isn't.
Not until the pair is separated by death.
We won't let anyone disgrace her final moments.
The two demons grabbed Blanor's shoulders and held her back. Dripping blood, breathing heavily, and with an awkward gait, Erica walked towards Beato and Battler despite it all. As the blood dripped from her, it became golden flower petals which drifted away. So as she walked, she looked both divine and beautiful. The duel wouldn't end until one of them died. So even though it had been settled, it hadn't ended. Beato and Battler told the people bunched around them to step back, and they both walked forward to face the noble loser.
Erica.
Congratulations on your resurrection. Looks like you have bad luck with women. You never get a decent one to like you.
True. I'll never fall in love with a decent woman.
Beto, no. I ask this of both of you. You wish for one final clash.
Erica.
Very well. We are not so bullish as to refuse your noble request. Thank you. As her consciousness began to waver, Erica raised her gun again. She pointed at the two of them. Beto also raised her gun to point it at Erica. Then Battler placed his hand on hers. If it's already resolved, what more could there be to argue about? Erica-sama.
Why is there nothing I can do at a time like this?
Watch until the end. That's your job as a friend, isn't it?
Both sides silently loaded their bullets of truth, without saying a word. The color packed in each barrel was red. So though neither side spoke, did they both know what trump card the other would use. Now, at the end, I'd like to finally introduce myself. What's she saying? This late into the game, no one could imagine the red truth Erica had loaded.
Beto? You sure?
Yes, I don't mind.
I understand.
Let's at least pull the final trigger together.
I know.
Battler placed his hand on top of the finger that Beto had around the trigger. Battler-san, I'm glad I met you.
We will be together for all eternity.
You just had to flirt right in front of me. It's pissing me off. You know I really can't stand teary farewell scenes. Yes, the bad guy really does need to wear this face at the very end.
It's a nice look. Married life with you would probably be fun enough to make me vomit.
Of course! I'd spin you around every day, locked up in a world of pleasure that'd make you forget Beto-san in a second. It's 1,000 years too early for you to capture Battler's heart, little girl. You'd never look cuter than you do now. I guess both of us really do need to finish it this way.
This is like the most fucking hip-hop track we've had the entire soundtrack.
Let's go!
Come.
This is Detective Fruto Erica's final parting line.
I refuse to do this.
And self-introduction. No. Erica spun in a magnificent and graceful rondo, scattering blood and golden flower petals around her as she raised her gun. Hi, pleased to meet you. I'm Fruto Erica, the detective. I may be an uninvited guest, but please, welcome me.
Stop.
We're not done yet. No, let's get to the end.
The detective.
Get to the end.
But she killed people.
Doesn't matter, get to the end. I'm the visitor, the 18th human on Rikenjima.
Here it comes. I know what's next.
I know you better be fucking ready.
Sorry.
Don't say shit. Even if you do join us. That makes 17 humans. Oh, bang! Wow!
Yeah, boys!
There it is, lads. You called that. I can vouch for you. I can confirm that you called that. You
From
said,
a fucking country mile away. Oh, yes.
I don't even know where to begin with this shit. Ah, it's so good. I need a drink.
Oh, boy.
This song, incidentally, is Birth of a New Witch.
Uh-huh.
Which is extremely appropriate.
It's good. It's good shit.
Yep.
That was brilliant.
It was a perfect fucking execution.
I'm not even looking at the game record right now. I don't think we need to.
Everyone lives, except for the
Died
people
on
who
the
died.
second Twilight.
Do you want to go over what happened at the end there, where Cannon turned into butterflies? I don't think you really need to.
I don't think we need to. The personality of Cannon was abandoned. They never said there wasn't another person in the room. They just said
Absolutely.
Cannon wasn't there.
Yep.
Easy game, easy life. I would also like to once again just put that one last hammering nail into the coffin of Vice Golbez.
Sorry, Vice.
Sorry, Vice.
Yeah. I mean, I can neither confirm or deny anything. What?
Well, listen, it means that there does in fact have to be one person or two people that are one person for this entire thing to be true.
Yep. It pretty much confirms Chicadentress, as the theory is dubbed.
There are, like, I'm assuming other theories that still
Absolutely
hold some weight.
But if you are approaching the game in the way that I think you're intended to, I think that Chicadentress is the obvious answer. I think this episode makes it pretty clear.
Yeah. I know from, like, things I've seen around the internet that Rosatress is a thing.
I was going to bring that up.
That, like...
in the recap, but yes, it's a thing.
We can talk about it in the recap, but that's the thing I know exists.
We definitely should talk about it.
I tried to make it work after I found out about it kind of around the end of episode 4.
Oh, shit.
But fuck that. It does not work.
I mean, the thing is, it technically does. But yeah, I definitely do want to talk about it more in the recap than this. But one of the founding principles for the Rosatress theory is, as you said, how dumb do these people have to be to not realize that one person is multiple people?
Yeah.
That's the kind of foundation of the Rosatress theory. If you take, I think it's George and Nandra's accomplices, there's a way to slip through the reds. But there is, we'll get more into that in the recap. And I think I'll take less than 8 hours to explain it.
I know exactly which videos you're talking about because they keep fucking popping up in my feed every time.
Yep.
Next time,
lads.